Hey there, I'm going to do a quick demo for APHIS regarding some APHIS content. So without further ado, I'm not going to belabor everything, so this is a very quick demonstration of CourseAdvisor. We realized that a heck of a lot of time is spent, well, pretty much everywhere, dealing with the fact that I have raw content, and how do I transform raw content into education that people can learn from. So let me I found a document here about APHIS. It's from 2024. It's a U.S. Swine Health Improvement Plan. It's a proposed rule, so it's not real legislation yet. But if you wanted to take a look at this document, I could post a link as part of this video. But it's a long, 19 pages. I don't know how long it would take someone to sift through that. It's very dense legalese. But let me just take a quick swag at taking that document. Let me go through agreeing some things here. I have that document downloaded right here. I'll drop it there. Now this may take a few minutes, so I may cut the video while it's doing things, but it's doing a lot of things. What it's doing right now, it's going to parse the document, and it is a 19-page, pretty much a technical guide on this proposed rule, written, of course, in legalese, and I kid around with people that, if you want a headache or you can't sleep at night or both, you can actually start with this document. And what we've seen, especially in federal agencies, and again, especially in the USDA as our biggest customer, is how do I educate people on what's in this new regulation, proposed regulation. Now, our solution here, what you're looking at, is not just for regulations. It can be for, give me a presentation somebody built, a white paper somebody wrote. Anything you want transformed into education, we can handle. Now, what's going to happen is we're analyzing the document, we're parsing it, and we're going to do an analysis of, is it ready to be transformed into e-learning? What we mean by that is sometimes we've had people say, oh, hey, look, I have a PowerPoint. I'd like to use this as a basis for a course. Hey, great, send it over. And they send it over, and it's basically 12 pages with some bullet list items. There's actually no substantive content in there. So one of the things we like about the Federal Register documents is that they are very dense. And as you saw, very dense and very hard to read. So the first thing we did was we said, let me hit next so this will go away. But what this is saying, we ran a check and said, is this reasonable? Can this document support a full-blown education course? And without going, I just want to let this part run. And what it did is it gave me a quick summary of the document, and it gave me a list of identified topics in there. So I'm just going to let this run, and I'll probably cut the video. I don't have to. It was that quick. So this is where I want to spend most of my time. What we did with that document was we ran through it and did a whole bunch of operations on it. And so the first thing it did is we identified overall topics. Do you want an overview and purpose of this plan? So if you're watching this and you're within APHIS and you want to share with anybody, this might be a place to start. You want to zoom in on what this thing is proposing as far as participation and certification requirements? Let's take that topic, let's drill down on that topic, and then what you're looking at here are the estimated or the likely audiences. So we can take this topic about participation and target an audience of swine producers and facility managers, or state vets, or program compliance officers. I'm guessing the APHIS inspectors would probably fall in this group. And you can see, so we have one overview, participation, government and administration of USSHAP. This would be APHIS folks largely. Biosecurity, disease surveillance standards, that's another topic. And again, laboratory stuff, biosecurity measures. What all these boxes are if I want a course on this topic, for these people to this level of understanding, I can check these boxes. And again, I don't know who was watching this, but if you're familiar with Bloom's level of breakdown of education, remember this is an awareness level course. You're going to get questions about, are you aware this is being proposed? And general knowledge about what it is, down to analyze and evaluate. This would mean you could compare, if you take this level of training, you're going to be able to not only know the basics, but it's going to be a compare and contrast. Could you recognize deficiencies in a swine program with respect to the new rules? So these level courses, and what in case you're wondering, this topic has up to 5 levels of Bloom's taxonomy that we could produce a course on. But these levels, this particular topic, can only support 3. Why is the difference? Why can you go deeper on this than this? Well, it's because the underlying document only has so much details, right? It's not a 100-page document, it's a 20-page document. And apparently it's more heavily weighted on how you amend your state programs and standards for regulations than it is certification requirements, which I guess that makes sense, right? And then these level things, this overview, it's like by virtue of the fact that it's an overview, you're not going to have a level 5, right? The whole point is an overview. And so if I wanted to, for the federal program administrators, let's do a level 2. And I could also, I'm not going to do it now, but I could just check that box. And if I hit the submit button, a course is going to get created. So I'll do that in 1 second. But one other option is, these are specific topics, audiences, and levels of understanding. If I wanted just, hey, as opposed to giving me a lowdown with a very targeted topic, just give me an overview. We call this an awareness level course on the entire document. And we oftentimes recommend people start there to level set people. We call these baseline courses. So if I wanted to create a baseline course, I can just press this button, and that's going to be, again, a level setting, unwinding what's in that 28-page document. If I hit, in this case, but I wanted to kind of zoom in on governance administrations and a level beyond just a basic level. I want to do and understand. I can give special instructions here. I could target, let's say, college age folks. I could target high school kids. I could target, put it in a southern drawl if I want. But let me just say next. And it's going to ask me one last time to generate the course. And this is be submitted to what we call the factory. And so what's happening now is my choices, that document, are getting stuffed into the Course Avenue generative AI factory, and out will come a course. And if we look at what we mean by new window, just to show Gov.Education, we have lots of courses. So the process that it's going through now is basically the same process that generates, we can look at USDA courses, let's say. There's about 980 courses in here, and if we sort by, we'll sort by prices, high to low. So there's some very complicated courses over time, livestock relief program, NEPA. So all these courses out here, there's a whole bunch of them. Exactly how 105 USDA courses that are all have gone through this process of literally creating all the content. And so what we're going to have is a course that has 7 sections. Each section will have a knowledge check, and we also generate a final exam and a glossary. So this does take typically about 3 to 4 minutes, even with small courses. I mean, there's a heck of a lot going on there. And I'll tell you one thing, it's not as simple as, hey, AI, create me a course on this. This is a very complicated process that's going on. And the result will be a course in Course Avenue Studio. So let me pause real quick talking, and we'll take a look at the course in Studio when it finishes. Okay, we're back, and I didn't exactly mark the exact time. It finished a minute or so ago. It's 4:38 now. If I go back to my Course Avenue Studio thing, because the CourseAdvisor told me it was done, I click the list view, and guess what? In my courses, I have a course called Compliance and Implementation of U.S. Swine Health Improvement Program Final Rule. So we can take a look at what this is all about. I click on the little pen icon. It brings up the editor. And the thought is, let me just take a quick look. We have overall 3, 4, 5. Wow, this is a good course. Course Avenue courses have overall properties. If we look at the properties, this will give you some information about the course overview, basic information. Just to check the metadata real quick, it's usually pretty interesting. This was the job that, when I said it was built by CourseAdvisor, this is that. This is understand level 2. Here's the target audience, federal program administrators, and the taxonomy. The topic was governance administration of U.S. SHIP. Again, I know this is only a proposed rule, but you can imagine what we could do with like anything else. Let me check the glossary really quick. Wow. I saw it generate the glossary. It was taking a while. So it generated one heck of a lot of glossary terms. In case you're wondering about 508 compliance and things like that, we actually generate very 508. We work with the USDA 508 team to make sure that everything is 508 compliant. We will guarantee 508 compliance, and we actually do some extra things when it comes to the links. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to preview this course, so I haven't even looked at it yet. But if anything else, if you're watching this and you see what was just done, basically would have taken between 4 to 5 weeks at least. If you ask an instructional designer, you send them that document, say, hey, build me a course on this new proposed rule or final rule. I forget, maybe it was a final rule. It would take them weeks just to sift through that document and come up with, let's just take a look at the overall. These are the sections. Here's information. Here's the key terms, governance, administration. So, as I said, it's fully tricked out, if you will, with a heck of a lot of glossary terms. And if you're concerned, like, well, wait a second here, I'm not sure if those things are right. Well, guess what? This is the CourseAdvisor editor. It's been used for 10 years at the USDA, and anyone can maintain it. You can have an intern basically run through and edit these, change these, update these, or a subject matter expert. You can just let anyone with a license log in and edit the courses and go from there. One of the things, just again, you want to come in here and go into edit mode. We turn off this. You can change. This is just text editor. And again, now if you wanted to get more fancy, we can come in here and say put media on the right and choose from a media library. I'm not going to do this now, but you can add videos, audio. Basically, we've shortcutted about a month and a half of effort or more on this. You're starting with a complete 508 compliant e-learning course that actually would go right into AgLearn. Is it sexy right now? Do we want to add interactions and things like that? Of course we do. Of course we would like to do those kind of things. But use an interaction. You want to flip cards. We can add flip cards to it. Again, I'm not going to go through all that. But if you see the value, hopefully you see the value to go from a document to a targeted Bloom's Level 2 that's targeting federal authorities, educating them on this in a matter of about 5 minutes. Hopefully that makes sense. We didn't go through all the different, we're not going to save that page, but here's all the knowledge checks. These are knowledge checks. These are not included in a course score, if you will, but there's plenty of questions that are, again, fully editable by anyone. And if we look at the conclusion, there's even a final exam that contains, 10 questions. And they're randomly, we are going to randomize these so each learner doesn't get the same 10 questions, or the same questions in the same order. So there's a heck of a lot going on here, a heck of a lot of value in about 5 minutes. We didn't even talk about the media library that we have with all these graphics we pulled in from ARS that can be shared across the USDA. So you have full-blown access to a library of over 500 images to augment that, all included with a CourseAdvisor Studio license. So that's all for now, going from information to education at light speed, and hopefully we can chat with people and get some education created. All for now. Thanks.